So if you haven't heard of Neverness to Everness, it's basically anime GTA before we got actual anime GTA. Some of you might be surprised, but no, this isn't an Hotta, this is a different game entirely. And a lot of people are wondering with this game, why should I play another gacha game? How is it different from all the other gacha games on the market? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, this game is literally just Zenless Zone Zero mixed with Wuthering. That pretty much sums up this game the easiest way I could put it. It's Zenless Zone Zero aesthetic with Wuthering Waves combat with a touch of Tower of Fantasy jank. And that might sound bad to some of you, but the game's actually pretty fun. Here's the thing. Here's what I want you to take away from this video. If you play a lot of gacha games, maybe you're tired of your favorite gacha game and you want something a little different, you need a distraction, a side game, something to do, then yeah, it's a pretty good game. But if you're not into gacha games, this game doesn't reinvent the wheel and it probably won't get you back into gacha games. I won't lie, it kind of feels like a poor man's Zenless Zone Zero or a poor man's Wuthering Waves, whichever one of those games you like play. What's even crazier is these are the same producers of Tower of Fantasy, Hotta Studio. Do you guys remember that game once upon a time? So they don't have the best track record when it comes to gacha games. But the thing is, I was low-key a fan of these guys, and I won't lie, even though their games aren't always the most polished, they do have some really creative ideas. Like the way ultimates work in Tower of Fantasy is pretty much the exact same way outro skills work in Wuthering Waves, and Wuthering Waves has really solid combat. So they low-key kind of took from Tower of Fantasy, believe it or not. So they were the first gacha game to put swimming in their games. I'm pretty sure you can ride Gundams in space in Tower of Fantasy. I haven't played that game long enough to find out, but you get the idea. So I always known that these guys have potential to make a good game. That being said, Neverness to Everness, it does some things right and it does some things wrong. So it's a decent game for gacha gaming fans, pretty much. So what's different about this game? Why is this game unique? Why is it worth your time? I'll just break it down in terms of story, combat, the UI, the gacha, and the soundtrack, controls, all that. So the premise of this game is that some world-changing climactic event happened suddenly and it basically flipped the world on its head. Now crazy paranormal activity is commonplace. You'll have strange anomalies, disasters, reality shifts are commonplace to the point where society pretty much got used to it and built businesses and corporations around it. You are basically an investigator, basically like a cop or a firefighter that deals with paranormal activity. So yeah, basically Zenless Zone Zero with extra step. There are tons of mini games and activities to do in the game. Anything from being a fishing driver to an Uber driver, basically doing random odd jobs. Also your main job, which is deal with paranormal activity. Not to mention there are tons of shops and factions you can interact with. Anything from buying stuff for your house, buying a new house, buying cars. There's a lot of collectibles and things to keep you busy. How much fun all these activities are, I'm not really sure. Like for instance, there's a side activity of Uber delivery that this game wants me to do, gain money over time, but the driving feels very bad. The controls overall feel a bit awkward and stiff. It feels like the game doesn't know if it wants to be Zenless Zone Zero or Wuthering Waves here. Like your character moves and jumps. You have a double jump, by the way. But this character moves and jumps as if they're in a Zenless Zone Zero game. So very slow and sluggish. You don't jump very high. But the world feels big and like it needs more flexible movement, like something in a Wuthering Wave. Plus when you run up walls, I don't know what that is, but they need to figure it out. The wall running in particular feels janky as hell. I know one of the main draws of unlocking characters in this game is some of their traversal and unique abilities, so maybe it's bad on purpose, so when you pull a character it feels better. Like you have to unlock this little girl on the first limited banner and she can like run on walls, but the funny thing is you can do that in Wuthering Waves free. Think about it. When it comes to story, this game, yeah, it's kind of all over the place. The presentation is like Zenless Zone Zero but less polished and more ADHD. Like it's visual diarrhea brain rot. It's very flashy and in your face, but it lacks substance. You can barely understand what's going on and it's just kind of full of random yapping. The game's not taking itself very serious. It's honestly hardly coherent. It does have a cool premise and potential for world building, but I don't know, I wouldn't really trust these guys to write a very good story. Then again, it is 1.0 and I've never played a gacha game with a 10 out of 10 story on 1.0. The combat, it's Wuthering Waves. It's pretty much exactly Wuthering Waves. You have basic attacks, a skill, and an ultimate, and you can switch characters. I mean, for God's sake, they even got the little quick swap when you change characters and the character kind of lingers on the field for a little bit. They even copied that with a tiny bit of Zenless Zone Zero, and by that I mean you can parry by switching characters, but other than that, everything else is pretty much Wuthering Waves, except slightly less polished. Like the characters just feel, it's hard to describe, but the characters in this game, they feel a bit floaty. So yeah, I won't lie, the combat's pretty uninspired, but Zenless Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves have some of my favorite combat in gacha, so I don't really mind, I'm not gonna lie. The characters characters look weird. I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't know whose idea it was to make half the kids in this game kids, and I've never played a gacha game where there was like not one character that attracted to me to the game. I think this is a huge problem because a lot of the reasons people just play these games because they see an advertisement with a cool looking character, and these characters are some of the weakest characters I've seen in a gacha game, I'm not gonna lie. Though I think it's kind of cool that there's a little dude kid in the game. Most gachas probably don't make characters like this because their audience can't goon to them, but I like this dude. He's my healer main. He's pretty cool, but everybody, I haven't seen one character I like, I won't lie. The gacha in this game is, if there's one thing this game did right, the gacha. This is what a new gacha game on the market should do. It should be constantly pushing the market for player friendliness. So in this game, there's no 50-50. That's right, once you get the character at pity, you get the character. What a crazy concept. Hard pity's 90 and soft pity starts around 70, and that might sound a little much, but like I said, you get it as soon as you get it. Also, the way you roll on this game is unique as hell. It's this like weird board game. I don't understand how it works, but it's cool. There was even a discount on my standard banner pulls when I was pulling. Game is just very player friendly. Also, when you unlock constellations in this game, you get to pick which constellation you want, and you can toggle them on and off. So you don't just start at S1. You can pick S2, you can pick S3. You get your own choice of which buff. And yeah, it just sucks that cool features like this are stuck in this semi-mediocre, kind of decent game. Like, why couldn't they do this in Arknight's Infield? The main MC even has multiple outfits you can unlock, or you can pay with real money, so it gives you the option. Some of them you gotta unlock through straight gameplay. Anyway, the art direction in this game is pretty nice. The city's huge, vibrant, colorful. There's lots of places for me to explore as I've just started the game. I'm only like 10 hours in. There's lots of novelty and weird things that can happen to you, like getting into fights with NPCs. If you're a dumbass like me, you might break the law and then walk yourself into a police station and go to jail. Not gonna lie, jail kind of frustrated me. We'll run into weird events. The best way I could put it is kind of the same feeling as a random encounter in like a Fallout game. I went to an anomaly and there was this strange door that turned into a boss fight. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of shook me for a little bit. I didn't expect that. And yeah, the game relies on a bunch of different novelties, but the thing about novelty is it's only good for one first time experience. So other than that, I was pleasantly surprised. You can just commandeer people's cars in this game, and they've got all sorts of soundtrack. It really feels like you're playing anime GTA, but the driving, I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. So hopefully they can work on that. For a free game, the world feels very lively and the novelty is nice. So overall, I think this game is a great distraction from your favorite gacha game. It's unique and creative, yet extremely generic at the same time. Like, this whole aesthetic and vibe screams Zenless Zone Zero. Even the UI, everything in this game seems to be taken from some other game, and sometimes that's a good thing, but sometimes it makes the game just feel cheap, like a poor man's version of your other favorite game. I also feel like a sad issue with this game is that there's just too many gacha games on the markets, and a lot of people just can't commit to so many gacha games. There's only so much time in the day. There's only so many gacha games out. So I also think that's an issue with this game. It probably should have came out earlier, and this is even going to be a bigger problem when Hotta comes. That being said, the honeymoon phase is great. The novelty in this game is very fun. That's pretty much all I can say on the first impression. I could see a lot of people having fun with it, but I could definitely see why a lot of people might feel like they're not missing out by skipping this game. Let me know how you guys felt.